So New York City officers continue to crack down on crime, especially on mass transit. The latest numbers, in fact, show the efforts seem to be working. So take a look right here. Overall crime in February down 5.5%. On transit specifically, there was a 20% drop on the subways compared to the same time last year. Major crimes on trains, they were down 9%. So the city touts the steady drop in transit crime over the past few months to the additional deployments of officers in the subways, which began in October. To discuss more on the safety in the subways and across transit, I'm joined now by NYPD Transit Chief Michael Kemper. So, Chief, welcome to Picks on Politics. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
So, Chief, we just laid out the numbers. I assume when you look at those numbers, a decline, decrease is a decrease, and you're happy with those numbers. Do you think the drop is due to what we saw play out, the officers on the platforms?
Of course, absolutely. It's so much to do with the investment in police officer presence in the subway system. Look, there's approximately 1,200 additional cops assigned to the New York City subway system since the end of October. Big investment, and when that started, we were up about 42% in crime, and almost immediately crime began to reduce. And we're looking at this year where we're down over 20% for the first 9 weeks of the new year. So absolutely, crime began to go down almost immediately after the infusion, if you will, of police officers.
So, Chief, you're attributing it to those extra officers that were on the platforms, right? The question is that permanent? Are we going to see those extra patrols throughout the remainder of this year? How long do those additional deployments last, and is it in the budget?
So those additional deployments are still active. They start at the end of October, and that's funding coming from the state, between Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams, and that's still active right now. You're always going to see police officer presence in the subway, just, on the trains, on the platforms, in the mezzanine areas, and at the turnstiles.
Right, so it's currently active, but is there an end date to the additional deployments, or it's just ongoing until further notice?
It's ongoing right now. I'm not aware of any end date right now.
Okay. So, Chief, the crackdown, not just on major crimes, right? The officers seem to be issuing more summonses for those minor violations, right? Can you talk a little bit about that and how that makes a difference?
Of course. It's setting the tone of law and order in the subway system. And there needs to be law and order. And that it goes to the conversation of perception and fear, because perception and fear is real to so many. So if you walk into a subway system and people are freely walking in through the gate without paying, smoking cigarettes, committing acts of violence, and so on, focusing on these quality of life offenses is very, very important.
And so that would be fare evasion, right?
Well, fare evasion is one. So so much more. I'm sorry?
Let me zero in on fare evasion, because those summonses, those are up 75%. Year over year. Can you talk about why it's so important to go after those who are not paying first and foremost?
Well, first of all, it's unfair to the paying customer, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It also leads to the perception of lawlessness, and it's illegal. It's illegal, and you have to pay your fare. And more often than not, just about 100% of the people that are committing crimes in the subway system are not paying their fare. You'd be surprised on what we're coming up with also in relation to the fare evaders. We're coming up with people with warrants for serious offenses. We're coming up with people in possession of guns. Just a couple of weeks ago, we stopped an individual for fare evasion who was in possession of 2 guns. So this fare evasion enforcement is here. It's a priority, and it's staying.
Chief, what would you say right now is currently the biggest obstacle in the transit system? Is it those with mental health and issues and homelessness, and getting those out of the system and into the appropriate needs?
So that's certainly a challenge, mental health and homeless. But if you're asking me right now, probably subway surfing is a hot topic right now. That's very, very concerning for us, because we have young kids, 12, 15 years old, that are not thinking of tragic consequences. They're looking for clout and internet fame, if you will, or social media fame. And they're being seriously hurt, and some of them are even dying. So that's a very, very big concern for us right now in the subway system.
Okay, and when I refer to the things with mental health and homelessness, we've heard a lot about the camera system in the subway system, and whether or not all cameras are working both on platforms, and then there's those new cameras that are going to come on board trains as well. In the totality of the system, are you confident with the cameras that are there?
Yes, absolutely. So let me say this. I'm doing this a long time. I'm doing this almost 32 years. I'm very impressed with the camera system in the New York City subway system that the MTA installed. And the cameras offer so much value as a deterrence, first and foremost, to deter crime. People see the camera. They're less willing to commit a crime, if you will. And then on the flip side, the investigative value that it offers our detectives when they're investigating crimes is tremendous.
Yeah, but they're all working?
Cameras, I'm sorry?
Are they all working?
I can't hear you.
Are the cameras all working?
Well, they should be working.
Yeah.
And, with technology, if they go down, there are mechanisms and procedures with the MTA to get them up and working. But yeah, and listen, the MTA is great with us. We have immediate access to these cameras, and we have a live access to them also.
And lastly, we're almost out of time here. I just want to get you on ridership, right? Because we know from the MTA that ridership's certainly going up, but you're there on the front lines. How are you seeing a shift, if at all?
Ridership is going up. So look, I could say a few things. Crime is going down. Ridership is going up. And ridership sentiment of public safety, of feeling safe in the New York City subway system is improving also.
All right. Chief, I want to keep this conversation going, so come on back, because I think it's important to talk about so many different aspects, because it's the lifeline of New York City. I want to keep this conversation ongoing, okay?
Absolutely, Dan. Be well.
All right, you too. Thank you.